Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Florida Hockey Now Panthers Postgame Show, live from Plantation, Florida. I'm your host, George Richards. We are talking today about the Florida Panthers. They've won their fifth straight game. Tonight, they are fresh off a 4-1 win against the Arizona Coyotes. Sasha Barkov sets the franchise record for most assists in Panther history. He's got 416. We'll have more on Sasha Barkov tomorrow at FloridaHockeynow.com. But a nice win for the Panthers tonight. They get their fifth straight, and yeah, I mean they really played a really good road game. I mean that's the one takeaway that I took from the first 40 minutes of the game. Florida has a 1-0 lead. Carter Verhaeghe scores midway through the first to give Florida that 1-0 lead. And the Panthers had a number of chances. Arizona did as well. Arizona had a number of chances. I thought Sergei Bobrovsky was terrific again. And I spoke with Sergei Bobrovsky Monday in Fort Lauderdale. So that story will be at Florida Hockey Now on Thursday. So that'll be Thursday's story as the Panthers head to Las Vegas. They play the Golden Knights on Thursday night. So I thought I'd sit down with Sergey for a few minutes, and they got some really good stuff from him. As always, Sergey's been very forthcoming and talked about a number of things. So I think you guys will enjoy that. But as far as tonight goes, Florida Panthers, 5 straight wins now. They go to a tough place to play. Coming into tonight, the Coyotes had won, I believe it was 7 of 8 at home. They came in on a 2-game winning streak. That's not an easy place to play. It's a 4,600 seat barn, very loud, very intimate, very intense. And the Arizona Coyotes, instead of making playing in a junior sized rink a negative, they've really gone all in with the Mullet Arena experience, and good for them. Um, they've made the best of a bad situation, really. And we can go into anything you want to when it comes to that, but good on the Arizona Coyotes. That's a good little market out there in the desert. I hope they find some success. But tonight you had Carter Verhaeghe scoring. You had a scoreless second period. Arizona ties the score at 1 on a shorthanded goal. Getting to be a little bit of a problem here with the Panthers, isn't it? 7 shorthanded goals thus far. I think that's their second straight game. I think Montreal had one, or the Rangers did. Maybe, yeah, it might have been the Rangers had one the other night. So the Panthers give up, a shorthanded goal. Alex Kerfoot, Lawson Krause makes a nice play. You guys all remember Lawson Krause, former Florida prospect and draft pick and money dump trade. um, anyway, I'm getting a text. They tied up on the shorthanded goal. Alex Kerfoot from Lawson Krause. Florida gets another power play, and just like that, the Panthers take a 2-1 lead. Sasha Barkov with a really nice sharp angled shot that Sam Reinhart, sorry, gets his 24th goal by knocking it through. Florida Panthers take the 2-1 lead. 42 seconds later, Matthew Tkachuk down front gets credit for the goal. It's his first goal since early December. He didn't actually score it. It went off an Arizona defenseman. So what? Still counts. Florida Panthers up 3-1. That was at 8:38 of the third period. And Gustav Forsling finishes the whole thing off with a beautiful empty net from the corner, length of the ice. Good on him. He had fought. Who did he fight? I'm so bad with names. I need to keep notes. Jason Zucker. Jason Zucker. He fights Jason Zucker after a cheap hit on Nick Cousins. Threw him right into. Yeah, they do need a power play. Yeah. Kind of went into him at the glass. He was sitting there with his head up against the glass. Jason Zucker drills him. Real, not a good look for Jason Zucker, but good on Gustav Forsling. Jumps in. It's his first NHL fight. He takes matters into his own hands, but it ends up causing him. He spends the rest of the second period and most of the third in the penalty box. He got 5 for fighting, he got 2 for instigating, and he got a 10 minute. So Gus Forsling, when he finally comes on the ice, you saw it on the broadcast. All the players were welcoming him back to the bench. He goes right on the ice. He gets the empty net goal. Florida Panthers get a 4-1 win in Arizona. So good start to the road trip. This is the final big road trip, Western road trip of the season. The Panthers do have a 4-game road trip up the East Coast, but that's mostly within the Atlantic Division. But this will be it for the Panthers going out west. After this trip, it's a 4-game trip. You've got Arizona, Vegas, Colorado on Saturday afternoon, and then Tuesday in St. Louis. After that, the Panthers only go to the Central Time Zone twice. They play in Nashville. They got a one-off in Nashville, and then they've got a one-off in Dallas later in the spring. Hey, Rosado, yeah, I remember at the Marlins game. Heck yeah, I don't meet many Panther people at Marlin games, so yeah, good to see you. Thanks for coming. Yeah, if you guys want to send in any comments or whatever, I'm checking them out here. We're 6 minutes in, so we won't be here long, but I appreciate you all checking us out on the post game. But hey, good on Gus Forsling. He really did a nice job for the Panthers today. He stuck up for a teammate, which you expect these guys to do, and Gus Forsling just went right after Jason Zucker. When the Panthers got the subsequent power play in the third, when the numbers started to work in the Florida's favor, Florida got a 3-minute power play. That's when Kerfoot got the shorthanded goal. But anyway, Panthers are able to. Oh, we were talking about the time zone thing. So anyway, once they get done Tuesday in St. Louis, they only have those 2 games. Give Forsling an extension. I believe the Panthers are working on that. They've also got Brandon Montour they need to talk to, and Sam Reinhart. I listen. We could talk about the extensions at another time. I don't know how things are going to go, but I heard they were fairly close. A month ago, I heard they were close on Montour. I know they really love Gustav Forsling, so they're probably going to be able to work something out with him. Reinhardt is obviously a concern. Gadgevich against Vegas, if he's ready. Yeah, Gadgevich is ready. I think that's a good thought by. Yeah, I'm sorry, it just disappeared. Gadgevich, I would expect him to be in the lineup Thursday night against Vegas, especially the way that Vegas game ended. The night before the Christmas break. No Rosado, no trade talks right now. They really don't have any trade assets. So, I mean, any kind of trade that you're going to get that's of consequence, it's going to be first round picks, second round picks moving. Panthers just don't have those. So, I think Bill Zito is going to have to find something for the Panthers at the deadline. But I think the Panthers will be buyers as much as they can be without the draft capital that you need. The Panthers do have future number 1 picks that they can move. I don't know if they want to do that right now, but we'll see. But as far as the extensions go, Reinhardt is obviously, his price tag continues to go up. In talking with Bill Zito, he doesn't seem concerned. I mean, but this is a thank Andres. He's a lawyer. He's an agent at heart. So Bill Zito's not going to let us know a whole lot of what's going on. The negotiations are ongoing. I can tell you that. He's talking to the agents of these players. He talks to the agents of players that aren't up for contract extensions. So these talks are going on. They'll be yeah. He might Steve. He might sit out again because again, these teams that are dealing at the deadline, they want draft capital. Florida just doesn't have it, unless you're talking about their first round pick in 2027, or whatever it is. So they just don't have a whole lot to move, and that's what teams are looking for at the deadline. They are looking for future. These are teams that are dealing off assets and trying to build for the future. And the Panthers just don't have that to offer. So we'll see what can happen at the trade deadline. Last year, the Panthers' problem was also the salary cap. Don't forget. The Panthers started the season with 20 players because of how close they were to the salary cap. At least this year, they've got a little bit of flexibility. They've got a little bit of cap room, so they might be able to work something in. It's not going to be any kind of blockbuster like we saw in 2022, where the Panthers were the main buyers of that deadline. And that's why they don't have the draft capital now, is because of 2022. But we'll see what happens there. As far as the extensions go, again, they're talking. Those guys want to be here. Real quick, we do have, yeah, there are some prospects Florida can trade, but again, most of those teams, they want draft picks. I mean, they really do. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, that's ways away. I mean, we're just now in January. Trade deadline's not till March. I know everybody loves talking about it, but that's 2.5 months away. From going down, from when talks really start heating up, especially now. You look at the standings. I mean, there aren't a whole lot of teams that are completely out of it. Florida may have already made its deals with San Jose for all we know. But we'll just have to wait and see on the trade deadline. As far as Reinhardt goes, again, this is his first opportunity to be a free agent, but he's played on bad teams before. By everything I heard before he came to Florida, I think a lot of people heard it. He was miserable in Boston. He was absolutely miserable, and it wasn't because of the Sabres or because of the city of Buffalo or any of that stuff. It was like an endless cycle of losing. So he knows what it's like to be on that side, and then to be with a team like the Panthers, where they've had really nothing but success since he's been here. So I think he knows that. So I think that he would like to be on a winner. So we'll have to see. That's a story for another day. They're not trading Sam Reinhart, so they may be able to get something done in the coming weeks, months, whatever. We'll have to wait and see. But anyway, tonight, Florida Panthers, a 4-1 winner over the Coyotes of Arizona down at Arizona State University in Tempe. Good win for the Panthers. Up next for them is Thursday night against the Stanley Cup champion, as you all know, Vegas Golden Knights. So that should be a really interesting game, especially since they just played, a week ago, week and a half ago, and it was quite the contentious battle. It should be a much tighter game. Just being honest, it didn't look like the Vegas Golden Knights had a lot of interest in that game. Florida just couldn't score. They ended up getting a 4-2 win, but it was a lot tighter than it really should have been. Florida really could have blown that game out and didn't. It got ugly at the end, so I expect it to be ugly at the beginning on Thursday night, so we'll see. So like you said, Gadgevich, you might see him in for Nick Cousins. That could be a concussion kind of thing. Gadgevich is healthy. He's been healthy for a while. There's been a couple guys that Paul Maurice really wants to get into the lineup, but he doesn't really want to pull people. They really don't want to pull people out of the lineup. So, but this would be a good opportunity to get Jonah back in there, a little physical presence. Put him, on that fourth line, move somebody up into the third, and replace Cousins. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, thank you for joining us here on the Florida Hockey Now Panthers post-game show. Appreciate it. We've got a bunch of stories. They did, they didn't look good, very good in that Stadium Series game at T-Mobile, did they now? No, they did not. So, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. We'll see you after the Vegas game. So be good. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.